Hey everyone, my name is Aaron. Welcome back to the Critic Sensei YouTube channel, your go-to channel for movie reviews, TV reviews, and updates with the entertainment industry. And on this channel, we sharpen the edge of entertainment one critique at a time. And before we get this video started, I want to thank you guys for the support, and I really do mean that. I started this channel maybe 4 weeks ago. I'm at almost 200 subscribers, and the views are climbing. And the best part about it for me is finding other like-minded people that just want good entertainment without having a message pushed on upon us. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's get on with this video. So again, we're diving into the chaos that is Disney. And again, we're talking about the Acolyte. I thought my last video may have been my last Acolyte video, but there is so much going on that I want to keep you guys updated with. So to get started here, I want to start off with some great news. Leslye Headland, the showrunner of the Acolyte, has officially been fired. She'll no longer be a part of Lucasfilm and any future Star Wars projects. I don't wish bad or any harm upon anyone, but she deserved to get fired from this role. First, she wasn't qualified. Second of all, what was she thinking? The Acolyte was a horrible show, and she made that happen. This was her vision. Leslye Headland out of there, it's one step closer to getting this wokeness out of Disney. Diving into the latest chaos at Disney, President of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, is reportedly losing it behind the scenes right now due to the cancellation of the Acolyte. As most of us know by now, the Acolyte has not been greenlit for a second season. And this was done by Bob Iger and the board of directors at Disney. According to insiders, he's been fighting tooth and nail. Not just for Leslye Headland that just been fired, but for Amandla Stenberg as well. She was trying so hard to secure a second season of the Acolyte, even though it was a huge failure because this was her baby. She thought this was going to be her swan song to retire, but it was honestly the worst show I've ever seen, and it was the worst Disney project to ever be created. Next to Willow. And as we know, Leslye Headland's been fired, and Amandla Stenberg, it's not looking good for her as well. There hasn't been anything official about her yet, but at this point we can assume that she's not going to be in any future projects, especially at Lucasfilm. The big part of her failing was her actions out of the film, but her acting wasn't the best. Playing Osha and May, having very minimal facial expressions, playing them exactly the same, her making that cringy music video, going against the fans while the show is running isn't the best idea. Her doing this pushed the fans away, and it made everyone not like her even more than they already did. And if you've seen The Acolyte, you know it was a huge mess. I stated this before, the storytelling, the writing was absolutely horrendous. The character development was non-existent. The plot holes were so big. Honestly, the whole show was horrible. The story didn't make any sense. The writing was horrendous. And like I said, I'm surprised a show like this got greenlit in the first place. And we do have to keep the people accountable, management at Lucasfilm and Disney. And it's clear that Kathleen Kennedy's leadership has been steering Star Wars in a direction that's been making many fans wonder what she's doing. At this point, it's obvious. It is not about the story. It is about them pushing their agenda, pushing that message, the woke initiative, towards their viewers. Because at this point, it's one failure after another. But what do all these shows, all these movies have in common? They are pushing this woke agenda that people are sick of hearing. And Bob Iger and the board of directors, they see what's going on. There's definitely a switch going on where the higher-ups are noticing that people don't want this woke message sent to them. All we want is to be entertained. We want good storytelling. And hopefully we see big changes coming up in the future. And let's be real, Leslye Headland's anti-male rhetoric is all over the Acolyte. She portrays all the male characters as weak, corrupt, expendable, and honestly, they're all foolish. But the drama does not stop there. Disney also pulled all their Acolyte merchandise off the shelves. And the last time something like this happened was Willow. They pulled all Willow stuff off the shelves and they took it off Disney Plus, trying to forget it ever happened. And it looks like Acolyte may be the next show this will happen to. I honestly hope it does, because they're definitely in that direction right now. So reportedly, Kathleen Kennedy is trying to get all the merchandise back on the shelves, trying to save face with CEO Bob Iger. It's honestly a desperate attempt to save face with Bob Iger to try to get that continued season 2. And like I said, it's not looking good for Disney, Lucasfilm, and especially Kathleen Kennedy. And with Acolyte being canceled, the credit goes out to all of you, to me, all the content creators that are pushing their voice out there. A lot of people were blaming YouTubers for canceling a show, which we don't have that power. The viewership was so low, the ratings were that bad. That's why the show was canceled. If a show does not make money, it gets canceled. If the show is not profitable, if merchandise is not profitable, the show will be canceled. A lot of people that are for the Acolyte, which is a really small majority of people, they're not real Star Wars fans. They're people who jumped on the bandwagon trying to push this woke message to everyone. It seems like the higher-ups are finally listening to their audience, because with season 2 being canceled, and this was a $180 million failure, and they've had one failure after another, you would think they would learn that we don't want this woke initiative pushed on upon us, and hopefully we see some big changes coming soon. We need to hold people accountable, like Leslye Headland being fired, Amandla Stenberg, but Kathleen Kennedy, she's the president of Lucasfilm. She needs to be held accountable. And we need to keep pushing back against this wave of wokeness, try to drown out some good storytelling. And right now, Disney is not just dealing with the Acolyte debacle. There's news that Amandla Stenberg and Leslye Headland are trying to get a lawsuit against Disney. Which, to be honest, is not surprising. People like them, they don't get their way, even though the numbers were not in their favor. This show failed. The Acolyte was so poor, the viewership wasn't there, it was very low rating, it didn't make the Nielsen list, and on top of that, it has an 18% audience rating Rotten Tomatoes, which is horrendous. With Amandla Stenberg and Leslye Headland with this lawsuit, the battle is far from over. Kathleen Kennedy is digging in, but Disney, Bob Iger, and the board of directors are staying firm. And it's great that they're showing signs that they're finally listening to the fans. And it's the real fans who want Star Wars back on track, free from the clutches of political agendas and bad writing. If you're tired of seeing your favorite franchises being butchered by woke ideologies, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, leave a comment down below what you think of everything that's happening. Honestly, this is a positive video. Leslye Headland getting fired, Kathleen Kennedy needs to be held accountable, and hopefully Bob Iger, the board of directors, need to do what has to be done because she's failed so many times. I stated this in my previous video. She's had one failure after another. Any normal job, if you keep failing, losing a company millions, billions of dollars, you would usually get fired or get laid off. But for whatever reason, Kathleen Kennedy has 9 lives. She's just like a cat. You can't get her out of there. And I understand she's been in the industry for a very long time. She knows a lot of people. But it gets to a point where if you're failing horribly, she destroyed one of the biggest IPs to ever be created. 40 years of fans, 40 years of history with Star Wars. She single-handedly ruined this. Again, I want to thank you all for the support. It means so much to me. Honestly, this is my new channel. It's been about 4 weeks since I started this, and I'm at almost 200 subscribers. The best part about it is finding other people that are like-minded that I can speak to and share my thoughts with. At the end of the day, it's up to us to remind them what made these stories great in the first place. And I do respond back to every single comment I get. Peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.